yes, I do look a bit different. I'm not going to go into extreme specifics or anything, but the short answer is that I was in a show where I needed to shave and get my hair cut short, so while it's been long enough that my beard's back, my hair is still shorter than it once was. My beard is also shorter than it once was. That's the, again, the short answer as to why the appearance is so drastically different. But today is not fully about explaining that. Today is also finally starting Starship.
I wanna be a Starship Ranger. I wanna have the things they've got.
This song does what many opening songs in musicals do, introduces us to our main character. In this case, the main character is a bug, named Bug. From the very beginning, this song establishes Bug as outside of the norm, wanting to be a Starship Ranger, a very human occupation. This is quite literally an I want to be song, with Bug laying out what he wants, and specifically how it's the antithesis of what the rest of his bug colony wants. We see this first with his best friend Roach, who comes in and basically reprimands him for wanting to be something that he, Roach, sees as unsustainable. We then see this with the rest of the colony, who come in and sing about how happy they are to do what the Queen tells them to do because it is for the betterment of the colony. And I think what this also does is it allows us to see how kind of selfish Bug is. There's a phrase that gets said a couple of times in this song that comes back later in a very important way. And that phrase is, the needs of the many bugs outweigh the few. Now, aside from being a very obvious Star Trek reference, this is also kind of the mantra of the bug colony. It's this idea of we are happy to do what the Queen tells us to do because it will lead to a better colony and a better world. Bug doesn't care about that. He doesn't really care that much about the colony. He just wants to do what he wants to do. And while there's nothing immediately and inherently wrong with that, this attitude does end up getting manipulated later, which is of course the impetus of the entire plot of the show. So we're able to see what kind of a character Bug is at the very beginning of this show with this song. And of course it's helpful to see this so that we can see how much it grows as the musical continues, because, you know, that's how stories work. Finally, what this song does very well is it shows us the relationship between Roach and Bug. It makes it very clear that Roach does care for Bug. While a lot of his verse is simply reprimanding Bug, there is a line in it where he says, don't forget that dirt is solid and clouds can disappear. He's talking about how Bug is always in the clouds, always kind of in his own little world, and clouds can disappear, and that can put you in a very dangerous place. Also, while it's not put on the soundtrack, in the musical, before Roach's verse, he comes in and plays along with what Bug is doing. Bug wants to be a Starship Ranger, which he found out about from this video that was on this crashed plane that crash landed on this particular planet. So Bug pretends to be a Starship Ranger, and when Roach comes along, he ends up playing along with that, even though he's not really happy with Bug wanting to be that. Because he does care for him, and I just think the song does a good job of showing this relationship. So that is it for this week's song. Tune in next week for next week's song. See you then.